Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Macho Marathon Man, and I have another great video for you today. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new training app I've been using called Runna, as well as going over my performance for this last long run I did this last Saturday. Heads up, it might be a bit of a shorter video. I'm actually going on vacation this week, so I wanted to work on this video right away, the start of the week, and kind of get it, uh, you know, edited and worked down and processed on YouTube so that I can post it this Friday. That way I can keep up with my schedule, but also just, while I'm away from my house, everything's still going as planned on my schedule. So just a heads up on that end. But with that out of the way, please, if you guys have a minute, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little notification bell. Any interaction like that really helps out the YouTube algorithm, gets just my videos shown to more people. We've had some amazing growth this last couple months, and I really want to keep this train going, keep this hype train going. So please, also, if you have friends or family that would be interested in running, shoot them this video, share it with a buddy. It's sharing videos is actually fantastic for the algorithm. So please, if you have a minute, do any of those three, or just comment. Honestly, just watching the video alone is nice enough. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's quickly talk about my performance for my last run I did this Saturday, about 8.8 miles of a run. For my rating for this run, I'm going to give it a complete 180 for my performance from last week. I'm giving it a solid 9. I would give it a 10, but if you can see from my map, the route I ran, my GPS, I don't know, I'd maybe look into something about it because it's completely wrong of what I actually ran. If you go into like Google Maps or something and plug in the route that it says I ran, and then I ran like probably like less than like 4 miles. But the distance it says alone is like 8.28. But if what my actual route was into Google Maps, then it comes out to about 9 miles. So I'm going to go off what I actually ran when I plug it into Google Maps, which is 8.9 miles. In a little under 90 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, I ran the total distance in 1 hour and 26 minutes. So much, much faster than my last week performance. I don't know exactly what's going on with my GPS since it's been 3 weeks in a row where the data's been completely wrong. Maybe it has been wrong this entire time and I haven't just noticed it to this degree. Either way, I will either look into maybe performing some software updates that I missed, or if it gets too extreme, maybe taking it back to the Google shop to see if there's any particular reason why these GPS readings are so wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let that slow down my training because I can still go to Google Maps or, just GPS in general and kind of just like plug the route that I did run and get my actual readings of the distance that I did run. Also, I can just pre-plan my routes with using Google Maps to get the distance. That way I can just, just run. I know what I'm running and kind of have just a better finish line kind of thing. I feel so much better about this performance than I did last week. After suffering last week's short setback, having a very strong performance this week where I felt really good about my training all week long and then ended it with this long run where I felt fantastic about my pace, felt fantastic about my body after the run, like I still had a little bit of gas to go, so I could have even gone a little faster, I feel, and felt altogether like I'm still going in a very positive direction. I think in general, getting a little bit extra sleep really helped me out. Staying off my legs when I could also really helped out my muscles and my joints recover after runs. Doing some extra stretches too that I got from this Runner app that I'm already talked about, and putting that all together really, really helped me benefit for my long performance. And I think if I keep this up, keep doing my stretches after running, keep getting a decent amount of sleep, I think I'll be right on track with my training and be able to complete my goal. But that's enough about the performance. Let's talk about this Runna app I've been mentioning a few times already. So let's finally talk about it. So, about the Runna app and how it kind of got suggested to me, and kind of like what led me to start to look into this app and kind of pick this for my new training opposed to the more traditional training program that I've been using since the start of the year when I started training for this marathon. Like I'd mentioned before, since I'm running this marathon on the charity team, Team for Kids, again, quick shout out to that organization. Click the link in the description or, scan the QR code to learn more about them. Just a real quick plug for them. But being part of that team, it turns out they actually give you like a free subscription to the premium feature of this Runna app. I didn't know this at the time for when I signed up to be a team member, but I did receive an email like with kind of instructions on how to claim my free premium membership and kind of like the steps for that. And I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Usually premium memberships for things like this. Um, I've had some good experience with them for like Fitbit Premium, which I pay for, which I really like. So I figured I'd try this out and see what this Runner app is all about. I've never heard of it before, but I'm up for giving everything a try at least once. So I downloaded the app and kind of followed the steps to get processed and get my free premium membership. And once I got online, got my account set up, the first thing that this app kind of asks you is like what specific race you're training for. And what my first like initial impression of what this app was kind of made for is that it's made specifically for like serious training for one particular race. I don't think it's really meant for just like training in general, like just getting in better shape. I don't think it's meant for that. I think it's meant for picking a future race that's coming up, a very specific race like the New York City Marathon or like the Boston Marathon or something like that. Some race that's like kind of held year round. And I think the race might have to be sanctioned by some, organization. I don't know. They had like a list of like about 20 races in my area. And I just selected the New York City Marathon. But I very much think that the goal and the idea of this training app is just to train you specifically to hit your like desired time for desire like a specific desired race. So I really like this idea of this app to train for a very specific race. I think before this I was just kind of like training and getting back into like running form. But now with this app, I'm training to hit a very specific time goal for the New York City Marathon. And I feel a lot more confident that with this training, it's going to push me to hit that very specific goal. So after I downloaded the app and picked the very specific race that I wanted to run, the next thing I needed to do was to fill out some basic information on my activity level and kind of what days I was available to run, or like how many days a week I'm available to run, and things like that. It also made me pick like an estimated time that I usually run like a 5K at. That way, it can kind of give me appropriate speeds to run for my training. Also, is asking me what I would rate my level as a runner. I picked intermediate because I'm definitely not like a professional, but I am just like I'd probably say one step above like a novice since I have been running since the beginning of the year like this. And of course, I picked that I'm available to run every day of the week since this is my big goal of the year. On top of all my running workouts, I did put in that I'd like to mix some level of like strength training into my workouts. So it did also offer days for weightlifting on top of my running. I'll go into more depth of what I'm doing on a day by day basis with this app in another video. I wanted to get in a good few weeks of training with it first before I gave my opinion on how this app does training plans and kind of give opinion on how I feel about this training. But I kind of want to mention the big difference that this training has me doing over what I was doing before, and that's now I'm running for distance opposed to running for time. And kind of like the top level description of what I mean is that before in my training plan, it was running for like a set amount of time. So like I had to keep running at a set pace for like 90 minutes or like an hour running at some pace. And with this Runna app, it's really made the switch from running from that set time to like a set distance. So now it's like instead of running for 90 minutes, I'm running for 8 miles at a certain pace. And I think that's a really good switch for me at this point in my training. I do think when you're starting off, having time goals like that, like I was doing before, is a good way to start. I think training your body for running that long is a really good way to start training, and keeping a heart rate set for a certain amount of time at least gets you informed to start training more seriously. But now that I am training a little bit more seriously, I think it is healthy that I'm going for set distances now. Because at the end of the day, I am running for exactly 26.2 miles, a very set distance, and I'm not running for like 4 hours. So I think training my body for that distance is going to really help me push for distance and speed. And I think that time goal that I'm shooting for will just happily come after. But I just finished 1 week of training with this app. I'm already kind of liking it so far. So in another video, maybe not next week, but probably the week after that, I will give my like opinion on how I think this training is going and how this Runna app does its training plans. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm going to call it But for now, I'm going to call it for this video. So thank you everyone so much for watching. But quickly before I go, leave a comment if you've used this Runna app before and let me know your opinion. Thank you everyone again so much for watching. Again, quick shout out to my other socials. Macho Marathon Man. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, here on YouTube, and Threads. Thanks everyone for watching. See you guys next week. Bye.